And welcome to USA Global TV and Business Talk Radio. You are watching Talking Heads. I am Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and we are so pleased to have you here with us today. Wherever you are joining us from in the world, we do appreciate your loyalty. Our show is another fantastic one today because we have an incredible dynamic guest who is literally all over the world helping people in her mission for world peace. And she's going to deliver an outstanding presentation today. So let's welcome Caroline Heward. Hello.
Hello. Good to be here
again. Yes. And thank you for staying up late with us today. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome. I'm pleased to be here.
So Caroline, for people who are just joining for the first time as our audience continues to grow, we're just going to let them know that this is a platform for presentations that help us be better personally and or professionally. And Caroline, you have been extensively busy on this platform, and I appreciate that and thank you. And so you also just finished doing something really life-changing, which I'd love for you to share with our audience before you present.
Yes, I'd love to. Last night was International World Peace Day, and I had the absolute privilege and honour to deliver a meditation for World Peace Day at the Universal Peace Federation in their HQ at Lancaster Gate in the UK in London. And it was attended in person by a number of people. Some of them, sort of had been around for an extremely long time. And I also used the music soundtrack from a shaman that I'm working with, Richard Down, and his co-creator, Michaela Williams. And it went down really, really well. And there was a lot of extremely good feedback. And I'm still elated, to be honest with you. I'm still on a bit of a high from that because it's about creating a better vibration for world peace. And that's been broadcasted and is live and recorded so many other people can access it. So I'm just feeling really good that we made that work last night.
Caroline, how can we find it if people want to watch it?
It's on my Facebook wall, so that's caroline.heward /stress express with an X .com. That's on Facebook. So you just need to find me through just Caroline Heward and you will find me on Facebook. And I've also put it on my LinkedIn profile as well. And it's on yours as well. I put a posting on yours as well. It's actually a live recording, which anyone can access at any time. And I highly recommend it because the meditation is a good hour long and it's quite incredible.
Fantastic. I know that is exactly what I will need tonight after this long day. I will be tuning into that. So thank you for creating that space for us.
It's my pleasure.
So, thank you. So I'm excited for your presentation today. And if you would just share with our audience a little bit about the type of work that you do and who you can help.
Essentially, I've been a stress expert since 2000. So I've been working in stress management since, it's 21 years now. And I've become a licensed practitioner in Harley Street. That's the main street in London, serving people with all matter of very strong problems. And having a license to practice there means that I've passed all of their credential checks. And I help people with all manner of stress, whether it be physical, like ache and pain, emotional, so sadness, loneliness, heartache, or physical things like back pain, neck pain, throat problems, skin problems. And the final one is relationship breakups, intimacy, bereavement issues. So it's whatever is causing a distress within you. Also help with people with depression, stress, anxiety, and sleep problems. So it's whatever's not working for you, I can help you with. And I work at root cause level. So whatever is not working, I identify the root cause of when it first started, and that obliterates the repeating pattern for good.
Fantastic work that you do. And as I've mentioned before, you've really helped me. And I know you're helping so many others. So let's get to your next lesson. I can't wait. So I'm going to spotlight you and go backstage and look forward to taking some notes and then chatting with you afterwards.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So today I'm continuing the series of the Mind and Body Connection series for Transformational Healing Journey. This is the 6th in the series of Mind and Body Connection with Behavioural Change. And today I'm going to focus on relationship challenges, both personal and professional. And my key topics today that I'm going to cover is the energy dance, the games that we play. Also going to cover how you can heighten your communication with sensory acuity and how you can learn how to gain rapport really easily. And finally, I'm going to give you a way to find how you can make much more easy connections with solving the misunderstandings in relationships that you have. So let's get to it. The energy dance. Have you ever been in a situation where you're talking to somebody and you're standing and you're backing away? You're kind of taking a few steps back and they're kind of stepping towards you and you're taking a few steps back and you kind of walk around the room. Have you ever had that experience? Or likewise, the other way, where the person that you're speaking to is taking steps backwards and you're stepping forwards. Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me on a number of occasions until I found out what it was. So let me explain what it is. The person that is stepping backwards is feeling uncomfortable with you and with the topic of conversation. So they're stepping back to regain their personal space. And the person stepping forwards is feeling a disconnection. So behaviorally, without even realizing, they're stepping forwards because they want that connection, that physical connection. They're feeling that there's a drop in the connection. So they're stepping a few steps forwards. And then the person that stepped back steps back again. And so the person that stepped forward steps forward again. I'm sure that you can appreciate it's a bit like a sitcom if you're watching it. Whether you're stepping backwards or stepping forwards, there's something going on that's not being said. And that is that there's a discomfort in the conversation, the topic, or the person's literally, if they're stepping backwards, wanting to disconnect with you. But we don't learn these kind of things at school. And we're not told unless you've done some kind of training like I've done. So what can we do about that? We can actually connect and understand what's happening and almost take our leave if somebody is backing away and saying, there's somebody else that I want to catch up with. Or literally have a mutual understanding that the conversation has ended or the person wants to finish. But the person going forwards and keeps chasing the person around the ring, that becomes rather challenging for the person stepping backwards because they really are disengaging. And that's actually what's going on. They're disengaging in that communication, but they don't know how to do it, so they're doing it physically. What happens here is that the body hasn't learned to lie. But the speaking, the verbal, we lie, or we don't speak our real truth at times. But the physiology and the connection of the body cannot lie. And it actually is speaking more of your truth than the conversation that's verbal. So look at what's happening, and I call it the energy dance. It's the dance of when the person's moving backwards, they're actually taking your energy of moving forward, and because you have to keep moving towards them, and the person feels that you're stealing their energy, so they keep moving backwards to retain their energy. So I've seen this in bars where there's a lady that's being chatted up and she keeps backing away, and he keeps coming forward. And I've seen it the other way too. So have a look and see what's happening. And in awareness, change what's happening. And be astutely aware of that energy dance. And I invite you to not play that game, because there are no winners. There are only losers when you play that energy game. The other aspect of the energy game that I want to mention is phone calls. If somebody sends you a text, I know that this is a game that gets played. You meet a new person, they send you a text, and is it right or wrong to send them a text straight away? Or, should you be cool and hold off for a night or two, just to keep them holding on? My answer to that is no. Don't play the energy games. Refrain from playing that energy game, and be genuine in your communication at every stage of the game, because only in that genuine authenticity will there be a true relationship. If there is something that's going on in the person's life and the other person doesn't know, and you've left it for a couple of days, and I've frequently done that because I'm doing a lot of things, is that I just profusely apologize. I'm so sorry. I've been keeping late hours and there's lots been going on. So make an apology because you've kept the person waiting. But the other thing is, be genuine about it. Be really authentic, so that the person feels that it's genuine, because they will feel your ingenuity. They will feel that you're not being in integrity. And so it's important when you're speaking to people to be in your authenticity. And if you are busy, then say, and so they don't get offended if you haven't responded straight away. We are living in a society and a culture that people expect responses immediately. And when they don't get them, they start to wonder what's wrong with them or what's wrong with you. So rather than playing that what's wrong, say. And if you've left it for a couple of days, like I've frequently done on a few occasions, because I forget and I don't always catch up with all my messages, is to go back and say, oh, I'm so sorry. I've just been catching up with my messages. I've been busy. I'm around this time, that time. And be authentic about it, and they will get you. And that will continue to be the best way all round for everyone. And there's no energy game being played there. Be genuine, be authentic, and be kind. Because if you're kind to others, others will be kind back and be understanding back. The next one that I want to look at is how you can heighten your communication using sensory acuity. Now, sensory acuity is using the sensories. So using your sight, smell, taste, and your hearing. Now, I'm going to look at 3 sensory acuities. They're the main ones: visual, hearing, and feeling. Now, in looking at these 3, many people are visual, and so they need eye contact. But some people don't like eye contact. They feel uncomfortable. I'm one of those people that have always had good eye contact with people. I've just been like that for as long as I can remember, and it's always been commented about. And I do look people in the eye. And at the same time, a lot of people feel uncomfortable about that. They find that too intense. And so be sensory acuity aware. If somebody keeps avoiding your gaze, it might not be that they're not disinterested. It might be that they find it uncomfortable to be in the eye contact, because maybe their sensory is, their preferred sensory is hearing. Now, I can give you an example of a situation that I experienced for a number of years, that very visual, very eye contact. And every time I spoke to the person, they would gain eye contact with me initially, and then they would gaze away and almost drop their head. And I felt that they weren't listening to me and they didn't want to know. So I would take that sensory experience and say, oh, well, I'll catch you another time. And how often does this happen when we don't pick up on the sensory acuity cues? Now, a number of years later, I remember having dinner with this particular person, and this person told me that he really loved the conversation, but he couldn't understand why I kept walking off. And I laughed because that walking off, I thought that he was not interested. And this is how we can have mixed messages and not really understand what's going on for the other person. So be sensorily aware. If the person is visual, they will use visual cues. Those visual cues are things like, I see where you're coming from. I see what you're saying. They'll use visual things. I see. If somebody's auditory, they'll say things like, I like the sound of that. That sounds great to me. If somebody's kinesthetic, so in feel, they will usually use the words, I feel that would be good for me to do. That feels good. I feel a burning sensation in my water. I feel butterflies. I feel excited. I feel nervous. As you can hear, I have more feel. I've moved very much, and I move between sensories, but my preferred style is hearing. So I hear, and what I do is one of the things that's really prevalent for me is I have a headset on when I'm listening to music because it has to be loud. I have to feel the vibration. Now, there's many people like that. And certainly what happens is that when we understand what somebody's sensory acuity is, what their preferred style of listening is, we have an incredible way to gain instant rapport. And what I mean by instant rapport is that if the person is saying, I see where you're coming from, I really, really see how this could pan out. This seems like it's going to look like a really great idea, and I can't wait to action this wonderful idea with you. It's see and look, and I can visualize this. Talk to them in their preferred style. Use that sensory with them. I see you. I like the way that you've described that vision. If somebody's talking to you and I like the sound of that, then respond in their sensory acuity, in their response mechanism. Talk to them in sounds. And if somebody's sensory in the feeling, in kinesthetic, talk to them in feel. That feels like a great idea. Now, one of the challenges with this is that many people aren't in their sensories. Many people are in their mind. And so they think, talk, and analyze through everything that they're saying. So they don't feel. And then it's really difficult to reach them through the sensory acuity way by seeing, hearing, and feeling. So here's another nice one to give you. They might say things like, that makes sense. I understand where you're coming from. I think I know what you mean. The person will be using, I think that's a good idea. I think I understand. Can you clarify? Can you explain? Because I'm not sure what you mean. And one of the things that you can respond to that is, that makes sense. Or you could say, does that make sense? Because they're not hearing, seeing, or feeling. They're analyzing in their mind. They're listening with their mind. And so it's very different for the person that's sensorily aware in terms of audio, visual, or kinesthetic. So you have to reach them in the same place that they are speaking to you at. And I frequently use, does that make sense? Because a lot of the people that I see are very, very analytical. They're going round in their mind, they're thinking and analysing. And sometimes you can be in a phone call with them and they're thinking and analysing during the call, and so they miss what you're saying. And the final thing I want to cover is, why do we have misunderstandings? Well, we have misunderstandings because if somebody is auditory and you're talking to them in the visual, they won't get what you're saying. They won't comprehend or understand what you're saying. And so, have you ever had the experience where you've been repeating what they've said, what you've said, to get them to understand a little louder or a little slower, and they still don't get what you're saying because the representation that they're using is different? So listen to the words that they're using and look at the way that they're responding, and respond in their way. And that will give you instant rapport, and they will have no idea why they get on with you. They will have no idea what is making that connection good, but they will feel something and it will feel good for them. And this is rapport. To gain rapport with the other person is much more important than you just telling it as the way it is for you. Because when you gain rapport with the other person and talk to them in their communication style, their preferred communication style, then you can move them and be with them and converse with them and build incredible rapport, great relationships, both personal and professional. I invite you to use these lessons so that you can change the way that you experience life. This is behavioral. Behaviors are not something you're aware of. They're something you do without thinking. And because you do them without thinking, unless you become aware, you can't change them. And when you become aware, you become a witness. And when you become a witness, you can change what doesn't work for you. So have a go in your personal life, with your family, with your friends, with your work colleagues, and listen to their preferred style of communication. Thank you.
Well done. Well done. And you are speaking in an area that is very important to me, all about listening. And I love how you took it to another level, which is listening to people and then responding in the form that they like to communicate. That's really important. Really important. So when you find that's, I'm not saying you specifically, but let's say a person finds that they're not able to communicate the way someone else does because they don't have that skill, what suggestions might you have?
Do you know, people like to be listened to. And so if you listen, it will be very easy to pick it up, what they're saying. And it is about, sometimes we get very busy in what we want to say and we can't wait to get in with what we want to say. But if we actually actively listen, and this is part of the work that you're doing, we really are very symbiotic, we really do kind of work together in this way. But if you actively listen, and I mean really listen to what they're saying, then it's very easy. But if we're busy in our mind working out what we want to say next to the person, we didn't hear what they were saying. And that's the challenge. So everyone can do this, because it is about literally not being on your phone, not texting, not doing other things, but listening to what they're saying. And the person will feel listened to. If you're distracted and doing something else, they will feel that. They won't say to you, but they will feel it. And so there's where the disconnection comes in. And if you listen, it will be really easy to work out, because they will be saying the words that are their preferred style. They'll be using sounds, or they'll be using visual expression, or they'll be using feel. And so it's really easy when you're listening. And that's the key to this. It's been genuinely listening. I have had conversations with people that are on their phone or doing text messages or emails, or they're in the supermarket and they're checking out or they're cooking. There's no way you can hear everything somebody has to say. And then if you're not listening to them, have a guess what? Behavior breeds behavior. They don't listen to you either. And then we get all sorts of challenges. And it's a problem that can be so easily avoided by listening. And it's very in alignment with your training that you're delivering right now. I'm looking forward to the next training tomorrow on Thursday.
I am too. Thank you so much. I'm really excited as well. Caroline, I have to share with you someone who took the training, the part one. I spoke to this person afterwards, and the person is convinced that you can do more than one thing at a time and be fully listening. And I listened to what they had to say, and I gave them a challenge to try to talk and listen at the same time. One person talking, so really both people are talking at the same time. And I found this to be really interesting, and I'm wondering if other people feel the same way. The person said that they were fine with the skill set they have now because that's how they like to listen, and they are not interested in changing anything, and the fact that they're not fully listening is just okay with them. So I said, well, I just want to share with you as your friend, not as a coach, but as your friend, I certainly will not be coming to you with anything that's of importance to me because I know you will not be listening to me. So you just saved me a lot of time. Thank you so much.
And that's very true. And people will realize they're not being listened to. And that makes them feel uncomfortable. They will probably never say anything because it's behavioral. They will literally vote with their feet. They just won't connect with you in the same way. And when you really are there, present with the other person, it creates a magical experience. It's very I'm trying to think of the word. It's very giving you lots of chemistry, addictive. That's it. I actually speak to people that say to me, it's just addictive to be with you. I just love being with you. You know, time flies when I'm with you. And it doesn't matter whether they're friends, whether they're people that I see in terms of clients, but they just say, you know, time just seems to disappear with you. You know, what do you do? And it's because I'm present. Yeah, I don't get other stuff done. I don't get my emails done and my text messages done because I'm totally with them. But, you know, they get that. And that's the magic spot. That really is a zone that when you reach that spot, it's very magical for both people. And that's the place I prefer to be. But if the other person prefers to be in that other place, then that's okay. Because that's where they are for that moment and that's where they are residing. And I don't have any judgments on that. I'm actually giving ways that you can improve and gain better rapport, better relationships, both personal and business, because this is going to affect the business side of things. It's going to affect your personal relationships, your family relationships, because they will know that you're not listening to them. They really will know. And they will never say, but they will feel it.
Exactly. That is so on point. And you and I both know, as people who work with clients and help them transform their lives in various ways, that you know when someone really cares and wants to do the work and they truly want to be present. And then, you know, when people are just sort of, you don't really matter. You know, I've got this to do and that to do. And that word that we hear all the time, I'm so busy. I'm really busy right now. I can't talk. I'm busy. No, you don't want to make the time for me. It doesn't have to be this time. You could make some other time for me.
Absolutely.
But what I hear you saying is you don't want to make any time for me.
You can be busy because we all have things that we're doing, and a lot of people are pivoting what they're doing and how they're working. So that's okay. We're not saying busy is not right. What we're saying is schedule some time for that person. Say, I can't make it now, I've got things on, but actually, I'll come back to you with a time that works, because that's respectful of each other's timing, and we all have things that we're doing. And it's important to recognize that we all have lives outside of our business lives, and we all have business lives outside of our personal lives. And it's a balancing act. And we are in some extraordinary, strange times where many people are working from home. So it's important to recognize that and be appropriately respectful of that, because people are working from home. There is a very different way of being now, and the workplace has become the home as well. And there's been a lot of misunderstandings and miscommunications in that respect as well. So be kind to others, be patient, and be considered, because when you're considered, they will be the same too. So how you're being with somebody else totally reflects back to you. They will give you what you give them. And that's magic. And that creates an amazing life.
And that is beautiful. And what a way to conclude our show for today. Thank you so much, Caroline. And again, my apologies to Caroline and everybody out there who was waiting for the show to start earlier. And it is my fault. I take responsibility. And I'm glad that Caroline was able to be here today at this time. So thank you.
It's my pleasure. I had something to share, and I would have waited till whenever to share it.
Caroline, I'm going to spotlight you again, and please let our audience know the best way to reach you and any special offer you might have for someone out there, whether they're watching on the live or in the replay.
My offer is really simple. I'm offering a free telephone or Zoom consultation. And my phone has been quite busy. So my invitation, because it's been quite busy, is to drop me an email on nomorestress@live.co.uk. That's nomorestress@live.co.uk. Drop me an email so that we can schedule some time that works for you and that works for me. And I'm sorry for the people that have dropped messages on voicemail and have not got to you yet. I will do, please bear with me. And I look forward to helping you. I look at 1 or 2 symptoms to help you with your stress. You will feel genuinely relaxed and you will sleep better. That's my gift. And there is nothing else that I'm offering apart from that gift. If you want more, then we can speak some more after that.
Thank you. I'm relaxed just listening to your voice. I'm like, oh, so nice and sweet. I love it. So.
So that's the feedback I get regularly.
It's always consistent, never changes. So thank you. That's truly a gift that you have as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Enjoy the meditation.
Thank you. I will. I have to run off to a meeting right now, but I'm looking forward to it afterwards. So thank you. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the Power of Listening Seminar Part 2.
Wonderful. Take care and good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night. Have a good dinner.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And for our audience, everybody out there, I have a special request. I don't normally do this, but I'm very involved with the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, as you all might know. And we have our gala coming up, and I'm actually on the auction committee. I spent several hours today putting together packages that I am donating myself, in addition to being the entertainment sponsor. So if you would like to make a donation, it could be an hour of your service, it could be a product, it could be anything that you can think of that we could auction off for the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, the Evening of Hope Gala. I'd really appreciate it. It's a great way to help other people and also to get your own brand out there. So if you're outside the United States and you want people to know who you are, what a great way to do this, especially with USA Global TV. I'm on the board of the Crohn's Colitis Foundation, and I will make sure that you get the recognition that you deserve. So thank you again. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Caroline. I look forward again to seeing you tomorrow. And that's a wrap for today, folks. Take care.